I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact focused on personal growth, my Knowledge Workbook series and Creative Healing course can help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about, do I have a realistic chance with my ex? This is a question I get a lot in my calls and in my email coachings, and obviously it's a case-by-case situation. One of the things that's really tough when you're going through the breakup is realizing that how your ex feels now is not how they're going to feel in the future. Even if they are absolutely convinced that you are not the right person for them, over time, their thoughts will change. Even if it doesn't change about getting back together, they could have a lot more insight. They can calm down about things in a lot of different ways. They can see things differently. They could even see your perspective more. So look at your ex's thoughts about the breakup as kind of like the weather. I live in Florida. The weather is constantly changing. It could be raining in the front yard and sunny in the back. It could be raining all over and then a mile down the road completely sunny, and that's what I'm used to. And that is what it's like when your ex is going through a breakup. Their feelings will change. Now, it's very important that you're not reaching out to them. If you're reaching out, if you're breaking no contact, their feelings are not going to change. They're going to be a lot more guarded. They're going to be a lot more turned off by you. And they're likely going to be able to move on a lot faster than if you just leave them alone, let them deal with the consequences themselves, let them feel the loss, and let them see what it's like to have life without you. So please understand, your behavior is going to directly increase or decrease the likelihood of re-attracting your ex. What you do in no contact is going to make a big difference. Those of you that are leaving your ex alone completely and not posting a bunch of dramatic stuff online are going to be more likely to hear from your ex than those of you that occasionally check in or send them a handwritten letter or a clean slate message or a text message to say you're agreeing with the breakup. I've heard that one too. You do not need to send your ex a handwritten letter in order for no contact to be effective. That is a really dumb idea. I'm sorry, it's a dumb idea because it doesn't make any sense. Think about it. If you're trying to show that you're okay with this breakup and you're moving forward, you want them to feel the loss. You don't send somebody a letter to make them feel the loss. In fact, that's going to make them feel like if you spent so much time and energy to send them a letter, that shows that you're interested. It doesn't show that you are walking away and they're going to lose you. Now, remember what I tell you guys all the time. Breakups are counterintuitive. Okay? We often have to do the opposite of what we want to do. We want to tell our ex we care. We want to show them that we care. We want to tell them that we're going to change. We're going to show them all these things. But that's not what creates attraction. Okay? I'm sorry. It just doesn't work like that. Look at the comments of the people that tell you that they did it, and they tell me all the time in the coachings, those things they just don't work. Leaving them alone is the most confident thing, the most attractive thing that you can do. Don't ignore them. We're not trying to play games. They're just having to deal with the consequence and realize that, like, if you quit a job, if you keep going back into the job to see if you still have it, you're not going to feel any consequence. But if you go back in and the boss is like, sorry, the position's taken, now you're going to be like, oh, you're going to feel a real consequence. Maybe, all these other jobs aren't so great. This new job that I got wasn't so great. Obviously, it's different than a breakup and feelings and all that stuff, relationships. But I just want you to see what it feels like when you have a consequence. Okay, so we want your ex to face a consequence, and then when they do, they get anxious about losing you. That's what we want them to feel. I want them to feel anxious about losing you. But all of these nonsense tactics and ideas don't create that. Even telling them that, sending them a message that you agree with the breakup doesn't do that. Again, that's not natural to do. So I would not recommend doing any of those things. I know it's not easy not to know if your ex is going to come back. I know it's not easy to look at how cold they're being to you. They're acting like a different person. They act like they've never cared about you before. They act like they don't love you. They never did. That is what your ex is feeling right now. But just like the weather changes or the seasons change, their feelings can change all the time. But please, if you're confused, you don't know what to do, just sign up for a coaching with me and we will talk about your particular situation, because every situation is truly different for a lot of different reasons. I got an email coaching today that I thought you might like, so let's go through this one. They said, "Hi, Coach Craig. Thanks for taking the time to help me with this. Here is my summary. I'm reaching out because I recently went through a breakup with my partner of nearly 6 years, and I'd like your guidance on whether there's a realistic path to repair or how I should move forward. 2 weeks ago, my partner told me she wants to move back to her hometown." Okay, now remember, they've been together 6 years. I don't know how long they've been living together or if they are. I put this one aside. A lot of times when I take an email coaching, guys, I put it aside for a couple of weeks till we can film it, and I often forget what's in there, but I like that because when I'm reading it, it feels fresh for me. We had discussed doing this together in the past and agreed it was part of our future, but when we clashed over logistics, she decided she wanted to go alone. Things came to a head when I reacted badly and told her that if she was so desperate to leave, she should go as soon as possible. Well, sounds like you're about to face the consequences of your own words, right? This is what I try and teach you guys. It's not easy to have emotional self-control, but you have to, because then you say things that you regret. She left the room in tears. The next day, she refused to come back to our bedroom. So I set her up a spare room for her. Or I set up the spare room for her. Okay, I wouldn't have done that. Okay? If she wants to sleep in the other room, let her do that herself. It's almost kind of like you're pushing her to go in the other room instead of allowing her maybe a little space. She probably wouldn't have come to that same conclusion. Maybe she would have, but I don't know. In the month leading up to the breakup, we were in a rough patch with less intimacy and communication. This was partly due to my own work stresses. I was distracted, emotionally unavailable, and didn't give the relationship the attention it needed. Since the breakup, she's been hot and cold with me. On one hand, she told me she's made up her mind and she's quote-unquote done. She says she doesn't see me as the masculine presence she wants in a partner and that I no longer excite her. Okay, so one of the important things that we have to do is court our partner. Whether you're with somebody for 2 years or 20 years, you still want to go on dates. You still want to have fun. You want to plan exciting things to keep the spark and the attraction going. I'm not sure what's going on here, if that's what led to this, but you not being the masculine presence, maybe it's because you were losing emotional self-control. Women can get turned off by that sometimes and feel like they're the man in the relationship. They'll say things like that, and that I feel like I'm with the woman. If you're too emotional, some women will say things like that. On the other hand, she still engages with me at times, and there are moments of warmth and normalcy. I recognize my part in how things broke down. I became lazy with chores, housework, and care of our pets. I also carried a pessimistic attitude, and I've often been passive in big decisions where she wanted me to lead. You want my opinion? I don't think it's so much about lazy with chores or housework or care of pets. I think she got more turned off by you being passive about big decisions, and when she wanted you to lead, you didn't. That's what I think. Some of you may disagree with that. This is the way I see it. I think a woman is going to be more likely to leave because of that than not doing the housework. She has previously described me as safe and reliable, but not exciting. And I can now see how my behavior reinforced that image. Okay, that's kind of not a good thing you want to hear from your woman, that you're safe and reliable. Reliable? I mean, it's nice to be reliable, but it doesn't, that's not why you want your partner to choose you. But not exciting, right? You want fun. He's funny. He makes me laugh. You know, I can count on him. He's like my mountain. He's my rock. But reliable, it's like you have a car, like a car that you don't really like, that you're not really happy with. Right? You're like, well, it's reliable. It's safe and reliable. It's like a I don't know, like a 2010 Honda or something like that. You're not excited about it, but it gets you to work. We had promised to get married this year, and although I had quietly set a date, I hadn't proposed yet. She raised that as another disappointment. She also had a history of abandonment. Her father left when he was a teenager, and I can see how this plays into her reactions. When triggered, she often tends to close off quickly and decisively. She told me she thinks she only loved me because I was safe and dependable. Not what you want to hear from your girl. I'm sorry. It's like that's like you want your boss to say that about you. Be like, boy, I know I can rely. He's so reliable. He's such a reliable employee. But that's not what you're trying to create with romance and a relationship. Fun, playful, silly, flirty, exciting. That is what makes life, more enjoyable. Since the breakup, I've apologized, and I could tell you, I've seen situations like this, and then a lot of times there's a new guy. And you know what, like they describe the new guy as? Exciting and fun. The kind of the opposite of reliable. Since the breakup, I've apologized for my words and behavior, but her response was, what's done is done. That sounds to me like a woman who just isn't feeling the attraction any longer. I've made genuine changes. I'm taking care of the household and animals without being asked. I'm working on my attitude and consistency. I've started therapy and journaling. I've been disciplined with the gym and my routine. But listen, to me, this isn't what your breakup's about. I mean, it's great that I think she would be more attracted to you by going to the gym. And, I'm glad you're in therapy and working through this stuff. But I really don't think it's about the household and the animals. In other words, I think if her attraction level is high, she's not leaving over those reasons. Ladies can disagree if they want. People can disagree. My opinion is, if her attraction level was high, that would be a minor complaint. I'm trying to show that I'm capable of being proactive, dependable. You're already dependable. That's why she left you, is because you're dependable. You're too dependable. You're old, reliable. And emotionally available. I think she's looking for fun. I think she's looking for exciting. I think she's looking for things to look forward to. I think she just got bored here. We're still living together for another month or so, and I want to rebuild trust and attraction without pushing her further away or becoming just the safe fallback. But you've already done that, and it sounds like you're trying to do more of that. She's been spending a lot of time on the phone with someone new. That is awful. It's awful. I know that feeling. I get it. I totally understand. It's one of the worst things you can feel during a breakup or see. And, you know, this again kind of reiterates that she lost attraction for you because she doesn't even mind being on the phone with someone new around you or in the house when you're there. She's not even considering your feelings. That to me is like a woman that's really lost attraction. While I suspect this may be a rebound, I want to focus on what I can control, showing up differently and giving her reasons to reconsider us. I want to know how to position myself as both stable and exciting. Forget stable. You've already positioned yourself as stable. That's not working. Exciting. Someone she can trust but also feel drawn to. Okay. We'll get to that in a second. I'd also like your view on whether there's a realistic chance of repairing this relationship. I don't know what to do. By the way, this couple is in their early 30s with no kids. Look, I think she lost attraction because you were boring. I'm not saying you're boring. I think she feels you're boring. Okay? I don't know anything about you. Maybe you're not boring. But I think she's seeing you as Mr. Reliable. This is safe and stable. And I think she's excited and attracted to somebody new who's probably silly or funny or wild or says whatever they want and doesn't worry about the consequences, like, you know, because he's not afraid of losing her, right? This new guy wouldn't be afraid of losing her. So if I'm in this situation, I'm not going to be spending all my time at home around while she's sitting there talking to another guy. I'm going to go out. I'm going to go different places, and I'm going to let her wonder where I'm at and what I'm doing. I want her to fear losing me, and I'm not going to be Mr. Reliable sitting around the house miserable where she can see that and know that. At least if you're out of the house, she doesn't know if you're miserable. She at least thinks that you're having a good time and out and maybe even talking to new people, right? So remember, this is a breakup, okay? In a relationship, you want to be reliable and dependable with certain things. And, you know, I could see that she was frustrated with some of those things. But that's not why I think she's leaving. I think she's leaving because she got bored. She's even looking at the situation like now, like, gee, I think I only got with you because you were reliable and dependable. I mean, that's what she kind of said here in a few different ways. Safe and reliable. I think she also said dependable, right? But you don't excite her. And that's what I feel like she's looking for. More spark, more connection, more attraction. Romance is supposed to be playful and fun. We're supposed to take our partners and do fun things. We want to keep the chemistry. You can lose a partner because it gets mundane and boring. So don't try and change her mind. Don't sit there and try and be like, I've mopped the floor and I'm going to take the dog for a walk, and then I'm going to clean the cat litter, and then I'm going to clean the hamster cage, and then I'm going to... That's not what I think is going to get her attracted to you again. I think if you are acting relaxed and fun around her a little bit, but then also letting her wonder where you're at and what you're doing and where you're going and who you're with, that is going to make her interest go up a little bit more. And then if she wants to hang out with you, you can be fun and relaxed. Maybe you say, hey, do you want to go out and grab a drink sometime this week? She says no. Okay, no worries. There was a new bar I wanted to check out. I thought you might want to go, but if you change your mind, let me know. That's kind of the gist of my attitude around her. So she doesn't think that she could be talking to somebody on the phone all night, and you're sitting in the other room sobbing and sulking and devastated. At least don't be at home for that. I'd much rather you go out with some friends and get your mind off things and do new things and let her wonder, boy, where is he at? He's been gone all night. Where is he at? Who is he talking to? Who is he with? Let her see what that feels like. And that could make her interest level go up. So that's what I'd be trying to do here. So if you can create some of that intrigue and wonder in her before you move out, and you're not begging and pleading and she doesn't know that she still has you, she could feel those sparks again, but not come with more Mr. Reliable and Mr. Dependable here. That would not be my angle at all, and yet it seems to be like the angle you've been going with. All right, so hopefully this one's been helpful for you. And of course, if you want to get my help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.